Hey guys! So obviously Lupus has been getting a lot of traction lately, probably within the last year and a half, um, with a lot of people coming out with lupus, which I wish people didn't have lupus, but it's cool that now there's awareness. But with that comes curiosity, which curiosity is cool, but then you get these kind of really ridiculous statements that just should not be said. Like, don't do it. Don't say these five things because just don't do it. Don't say it. So the most common one that people get the most is probably you don't look sick. Well, that's because I just caked on 10 pounds of concealer and foundation and makeup so that way you don't see my rash and you don't see the dark circles under my eyes and you don't see the rashes that are all over my face or my skin. You don't see the bruising because I have to take blood thinners because I use Sunless Tanner. I feel like this is my goal for the year, to at least make at least 10 people, if I could just get 10 people to realize that you do not have to look sick to be sick. Just because I wear heels or just because I wear makeup or just because, I don't know, I dress trendy doesn't mean that I don't have a clotting disorder, that I'm not currently running a fever, that I don't have a rash underneath my makeup, that I don't have pericarditis or costocarditis or any other itis that you have that you think you can go in there, or that I don't have GERD. It's not always visible. So saying hey, but you don't look sick is kind of like saying well, you don't look sick, so are you really sick? It's kind of not really fair. And there's some people who I've known for a long time now, but when I first got diagnosed, were like, but you look so good. And you're like, yeah, well, tell my doctors that, or my blood work that, or my swelling that. So it took a lot of talking to them and just being like, hey, just because I don't look like I'm sick doesn't mean I'm not running a fever right now, or that I'm not flaring, or that I don't feel good. It's just all on the inside, and it's not like that for every lupus patient, but there's a good amount that it's just on the inside. It's stuff that's happening on the inside, and you're not going to be able to visibly see it. I think a lot of people are going to feel number two because it happened to me, and it's happened to a lot of other lupies that I know, and that is you've gained weight. Yeah, probably. Because the only thing that really maintains flares is prednisone. And most people, I'd say the majority of people who take prednisone, only gain weight. Okay? It's you can run, you can eat nothing but salad, you just have water, and all of a sudden you've gained 15 pounds and you don't know where it's coming from, and you're panicking, and your doctor's like, you can work towards it once you get off the prednisone, and you're like, but if I get off the prednisone, I'll flare. It's a lose battle. And sometimes it takes people a long time to recover. So it's not really fair. It's kind of a bummer. So don't ever say that to somebody, because prednisone is a son of a gun, and I just hope you never have to take it, because it makes me balloon up. It just sucks. Which brings me to point number 3. You've lost weight. And so I know that for some people that's oh, thank you, I lost weight. But when you're struggling to eat and consume food and gain weight and put on weight and keep on weight, it's really a struggle, because you are trying to be healthy and your body isn't letting you. And sometimes you feel like it's just not really going anywhere. At least that's how it's been for me, because I mean, it's fine being like, oh, you're thin, like you've lost weight. Okay, cool. Passing by, whatever. But then there's some people who are like, no, like you've really lost weight. Like, are you okay? Like, that's just so much. And it's people who know I'm sick. And a lot of time that's how it is for other people too. They know that they're sick and they're just kind of like, it's like punching somebody who's already down. Like, okay, we get it. Like, I know, you know, we all know. I don't need you to tell me every 5 seconds. And that happens so much during the holidays. And it was just kind of like, I kind of like left the holidays feeling like, ugh, over it. Because I just saw the same people over and over again who were just saying the same things to me, that I lost weight. It was such a bummer. Don't do that. Ugh. Another one that's super annoying. This is like a 2-in-1. This is a twofer. You're too pretty or too young to be sick. Thank you. I'm well aware of my age. And I'll go ahead and let my body know that, hey, while you look decent and while you're young, you shouldn't be sick. You just should not be sick. That's such a bummer to say, because it's like, you shouldn't be sick. Like, you're sick. And it kind of goes back to number one. Like, you don't look sick. And it's kind of like, just don't do it. Don't say it. It's so annoying. It's just, just don't do it. And my least favorite thing for someone to say, which is pretty strong because I dislike when people tell me that I don't look sick. Like, this is like my number one. That's like my mission for the year, to get people to realize that you don't have to look sick to be sick. But my number one top annoying thing for people to say, at least it's not cancer. Look, I completely understand how people see cancer. It's terrible, it's horrible, it puts people through horrible things. But neither of these things are in competition with each other. Lupus and cancer, two totally separate things, but they are not worse than each other. That's just how it goes. Lupus has a good amount of people on chemo. They have to have chemo. They have to do infusions. They have to do, you're on medicine for the rest of your life. Like, you can have heart complications, lung complications, kidney complications, blood complications. Like, you're at a higher risk to have miscarriages. I mean, it is so insane. So it's so insensitive to say at least it's not cancer. Like, it's just insensitive. Like, don't say that. The mortality rate for lupus is better than it was in the 1950s, better than it was in the 70s, better than it was in the 80s, but you still have a good amount of people who pass away from lupus-related complications. So that means they can have pleurisy. I can never say that word right. Don't judge me. They can have fluid around the lining of their heart. So they can have kidney failure. They can have, pulmonary embolisms. They can have blood clots. They can have strokes. I mean, it's just insane. So just think before you say that, please, because, like, I have seen people who have literally been, like, nonstop chemo, nonstop in and out of a hospital, on bed rest, bedridden, can't walk. I mean, completely the very lowest part that you can be, and it was because of lupus. And it's just, it does some crazy things to you, and it's just a bummer. So try to keep that in mind, please. Be a little bit more sensitive. So hopefully you guys found this hilarious and totally relatable, and share it and make sure that people know. Don't ever say this to a lupus patient. Ever. Bye, guys.